I have to admit, every time I get a direct message, I have fun with it. I think it's one of those ways you get feedback. And also what happens is that the people on the other side ask questions that are really prevalent to lots of folks, late adapters and everybody in between. One of our more recent direct message conversations had to do with a young lady. She was going to start creating content, video content, and she was considering her options on what to use to capture her video. And our backwards and forwards made for a really good video I think people will appreciate, so that's what you're going to hear and see today. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ruben Villarreal. I am Border Miracles, all my social medias, and yes, this is the channel and these are the videos that are absolutely dedicated to the late adapter and those that are struggling to make social media a bigger part of their presence on that very competitive platform that we know, whether it be Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, whatever you choose. So let's start talking, and basically it comes down to a semi-battle, a nice battle between a camera, DSLR or mirrorless, and a smartphone. So I want to highlight some of the ups and downs and give you an assessment at the end. So first, let's talk about a DSLR or a mirrorless camera, which is something like this. This is my old Canon SL2. I love this camera. This is a DSLR. Now, it has some pluses and it has some minuses, especially when you're starting out to create video. Now, the first plus, obviously, that I can tell you about is that interchangeable lenses. That's always kind of a cool thing, to have the ability to change lenses and to be able to customize your look. Now, another thing that's really handy about DSLRs is that down here, it has its own memory chip. So the storage that you are basically using is something on a memory chip and not your phone. And it has an incredible range. Now, without a doubt, very versatile, very useful, but it does have some drawbacks. I gotta caution you. First of all is the cost. You're gonna have to buy another piece of equipment, and any decent DSLR that's gonna get you good quality video, it's gonna cost between $400 or $500 all the way into the thousands easily. And I'm not even talking about the lens. This is a kit lens, but if you start buying lenses, a lens can cost you as much or more than your camera. So there are some drawbacks to something like this. Another thing that you have to remember, if you buy a DSLR, you're gonna have to learn a system. Yes, you're gonna have to learn how to operate it, where the buttons are. If you're gonna buy a DSLR just to put it on automatic, here I'm on automatic and let's shoot, then there's no really sense in buying the DSLR. You're a beginner. So remember, that's kind of should be your thought when you're diving into social media content for video. You're a beginner, so don't make things more difficult on you. Again, save the money and really understand that this is a kind of system that you have to learn. And I'm gonna say it right now, okay, lit adapters and everybody who's listening, a $1,500 camera is not gonna make you a better videographer. Okay, let me make that crystal clear. You're not gonna become a better videographer because you have a DSLR. It is that simple. Now, the other thing to consider, the reliable and the well-known smartphone. This is my old iPhone 7. I still use it for certain things. Now, what are the advantages of a smartphone? Well, the advantages, first of all, it's something you have. You don't have to make any more investments, and it's super handy, extremely portable, extremely light, fits anywhere in your pocket. Another thing about a smartphone that I can tell you that may not come out in other videos is that when you pull out a smartphone to capture video or pictures, people are extremely comfortable with smartphones. If you put a smartphone in their face, they'll typically smile and say, bring it on. Whereas if you show up with a DSLR, you'll have people saying, what are you doing? It does happen. I think some of you can appreciate that. So the DSLR offers a lot of comfort and comfort zones. It's also a system that you're familiar with already, because yes, you use it for maybe taking pictures. Yes, you use it to upload and your social media responsibilities that you may have during the day, but it's something that you're very familiar with. Now, so the drawbacks on using a smartphone for video creation is that you're gonna use storage. That's a whole other video, that you're gonna use storage, and the files can get rather large. So you gotta be real careful with that. Also, the thing about using a smartphone is that picture quality is not as good as a DSLR. It's really good, but it's not as good. So when you're creating video, you're gonna have to make those considerations. Now, it has a lot of pluses. For example, you can put on an external mic like I have on that one over there, and you can do a lot of features. So given all those things, the pluses and the minuses, the price, the system versus system, the advantages versus disadvantages. Which do I recommend when you're a beginner? And I think, yeah, you probably figured it out by now. I strongly recommend the smartphone. And the reason is this. It's a very much of a point and shoot system. You turn it on, you hit the record button, and you just make sure everything's in frame. It takes care of everything. Like right now, before I shot this video, I had to change the settings on my camera. Remember I told you about a DSLR? If you're gonna buy a $2,000 camera so you can put an automatic, that's not what you want. You want to be able to know the system. Now, the quicker you learn your smartphone, here's something really, really important. Now listen to me real carefully. When you're gonna start creating video for your social media content, which by the way is an extraordinary idea, you're also gonna have to remember that you're gonna have to learn some basic editing. So the less time you spend learning the system like this, the better off you will be when it comes down to creating video and sharing it with your social media neighborhood. Again, social media content is very much benefited by you putting video out there in that great big virtual world that's never been bigger than it is today. So here we go, one last time review. A DSLR versus a smartphone? I think a smartphone wins when you're a late adapter and you're a beginner. So don't be shy about experimenting with your smartphone. And another thing I'm going to encourage you to do after you capture your footage, don't be shy about practicing with editing applications. Again, that's another video. So there you have it. The battle of the DSLR versus the smartphone for late adapters and anybody getting started in the social media world. I hope this video was helpful. Now I'm going to encourage everybody, if you see this video and you have a comment, drop it down there, send me a DM. I love hearing from you guys just like I did in this video. And I'm like I say, I made a lot of really good decisions as I became a videographer and a content creator, and made a lot of bad decisions that could have been better, and I want to help you not find those pitfalls. So if you want to reach out to me, absolutely send me a DM at Border Mayor. And like I say, a comment or a DM would work just as well. So there you have it, late adapters and everybody in between. The world of a DSLR versus a smartphone. Exciting stuff, at least I think so. So that's all I have for today. So I hope you found this video helpful, and let me know how you're doing with your social media content. And as always, keep in mind that this is a very complex, complicated world sometimes, so you gotta keep on grinding. We'll see you next time.